Oh, shoot, it ended while I was getting water. Hold on a second. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Welcome, everyone. Postgame show. Let's go, baby. Is that more like it? I think that's more like it. Excuse me. I think that is a lot more like it. Let me get the recorder going for the post-game podcast. Welcome to the Pride of Detroit. Ooh, that's really hot. Turn down the input gain a little bit there. Ooh. There we go. Let's try this again. Welcome to the Pride of Detroit post-game show, prideofdetroit.com, at Pride of Detroit on Twitter, live now on Twitch and YouTube, Pride of Detroit. You know where to find us. And the Lions have improved to 10-4, 10-4, good buddy, as the Lions right the ship, a get-right game that I really thought that the Lions, A, were going to have, and B, really needed. A much better matchup for them versus past weeks. We'll dive deeper into that. But the important thing is the Lions, regardless of how they got to it, are now on the doorstep of both the playoffs and an NFC North divisional crown. All they really need to do at this point is probably grab one game on the Minnesota Vikings out of the two they will be playing, and before you know it, this division is sewn up, buddy. It's wrapped up just like that. After all the angst, after all the screeching, after all the doomerism, after all the worry, after the Bears game and how bad they had looked, the Lions did exactly what they wanted. They got their get-right game. Now, going into this, I thought the Broncos were a much better matchup for the Detroit Lions to handle than they had been dealing with the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears in the last 3 weeks. There's no mobile quarterback you have to worry about contain. You saw it on the defense when we're going to talk about some of those defensive players. You saw the safety blitzes. The safety blitzes as the Lions got a lot more aggressive on the pass rush and decided that they don't need to worry about letting a receiver get loose in the back too much. And they weren't really punished for it all that too often. You saw it in the offense on getting right, having Frank Ragnow back, taking advantage of the fact that the Broncos are at the bottom of the league when it comes to run defense and getting back to roots of what the Lions wanted to do. Playing with tempo, playing with pass action, playing with confidence in their running game. And it meant Amon-Ra St. Brown getting off one of the worst games of his career last year and getting back to doing what he does best and getting back to Sam Laporta doing things that we just have not seen in a tight end in a very long time. And he's certainly the best tight end that Detroit has seen in a very long time himself. Now, some of that is just the consequence of playing the Denver Broncos. I think the Denver Broncos are a team that the Lions are built to beat. On the other hand, if you want to take away confidence, if you want to take away anything from the Detroit Lions and say, okay, they just beat up a team that was, if you're out there and you're saying, okay, the Lions are just beating up on a team they should have beaten, what's the big deal? Here's something to take away. The Lions really got out of the mental mistakes they had been making in the past few weeks. We had been worried about the offense for a few weeks now, even as the defense was improving. And I think it was no more clear than it was against the Bears game last week with a whole quarter of 3 and out. Jared Goff played and looked a lot better. Part of that is he had a lot better pass protection up there, but you can see exactly what this offense is when they have a comfortable Jared Goff. This is always the dichotomy of Jared Goff between comfortable and uncomfortable Jared Goff. You got comfortable Jared Goff tonight. You got exactly how that offense starts to tick again, and they were doing that. But more than that, the Lions weren't really penalized outside of a pretty nasty Alex Anzalone pass interference in the middle of the game. Besides that, there wasn't really much to write about when it comes to the Lions really shooting themselves in the foot. There was a lot more, the Lions played a lot more disciplined. They played a lot tighter. They gave time to players that they hadn't really seen in there, and they got rewarded for it. I think none more so than looking at younger players like Ifeatu Melifonwu and Josh Paschal on the defense. Ifeatu Melifonwu, this was his game. Now, I could have probably told you that if I had known his agent was in the house. And you might be thinking, why are you talking about his agent, Chris? What does his agent have to do with anything? His agent is the same agent as Tommy DeVito. You know, the guy in the zoot suit who's like, going into the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. Yeah. Sean Stellato. Yeah, that's why Iffy had the great game. No, but this is Ifeatu Melifonwu getting into, I think, made a really good case for himself to be considered playing a lot more box safety. The Lions are going to be working on their DBs, and I think Ifeatu Melifonwu stepped up and really made his case, as some of the others like Walker and Jerry Jacobs were noticeably absent from tonight's game plan. On the flip side of things, before I do that, Josh Pascal looking great, really teaming up there along with Aiden Hutchinson to really do some stuff in pressuring the quarterback, getting to Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson can still roll out a little bit, but he's not Justin Fields, he's not Jordan Love, and the Lions absolutely had a much easier time of it, taking care of business and just not stumbling down the stretch when it came to what they needed to do to deal with him. Isaiah Buggs, I thought, played pretty well as well. But moving over to the offense, we look at who plays well again. And then once again, it's all your young studs. It's Jahmyr Gibbs having himself one hell of a game, man. Jahmyr Gibbs just showing you again why, with 100 yards rushing, and I believe another 8 yards through the air, showing you again his speed, his vision, his elusiveness on the field, averaging over 9 yards per carry on 11 carries in this game. My God, that is the kind of spark the Lions have needed on offense in their run game. And he was getting massive holes all night long thanks to the offensive line and getting some really nice run blocking thrown downfield. But make no mistake, you watch Jahmyr Gibbs, you see the speed. You see the speed, and we'll continue to relitigate, I'm sure, for years and years to come, the value of a running back at 12. But he is the straw that stirs the drink of the Detroit Lions offense, and he put it on display again tonight. David Montgomery also, 85 yards for himself here and just being another bowling ball out there. But what's this, too? Jameson Williams more involved in the offense, getting more than a single reception, too. 4 receptions. 47 yards, even getting involved in some less than home ball plays, getting involved in a slant route. I think the Lions figured out that they need to use Jameson Williams more. He knows how to run those routes, and they wanted to see more of him out there, and he delivered. He delivered, I thought, very well. And, of course, we keep doing this every time, right? We just keep not talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though he crests another 112 yards and a touchdown to boot for it. The man is the reliable engine that could. And in the red zone, Lions' woes recede as Sam Laporta finds 3 touchdowns. Sam Laporta is now in his rookie year up to 9 touchdowons. I always like to regale that I think one of the best tight end rookie seasons in the history of the NFL was Mike Ditka, back when he was a rookie for the Chicago Bears, and he had 12 touchdowns. Sam Laporta is closing in on that. He might be able to tie it up. Certainly for the Detroit Lions, franchise records for Sam Laporta. I think there is more than enough case that you just look at the young players and you say, yes, this Lions team is a work in progress. Yes, as much as you really want to see them win a playoff game this year, and I think if you want to say you're going to be disappointed if they don't win a playoff game, I think you're justified in that. I don't agree with you, but I think you're justified in that. But you look at those young players and you realize that these players are going to be here for the Detroit Lions for some time to come, and that's a good thing. The Lions can show you that they can win with a lot of this homegrown talent, and they can keep that team together and figure things out for the future. That's fantastic. Now the big question comes as we look down here now with 3 games to play and the Lions really needing just 1 win now to get an NFC North crown. How much of this is potable to the Vikings and the Cowboys? I think that Minnesota will provide a very interesting test for the offensive line. I saw a chart here this past week that Minnesota is blitzing, much like the Lions were doing this game, are blitzing at a very, very high rate. Jared Goff will have to learn to deal with that pressure and get the ball out and make and punish a team for blitzing. That offensive line is going to have to handle the pressure of a blitz coming for them. If they can do those two things, then they can keep growing on this game. But more importantly than anything, more importantly than all that, it's the psychology of a get-right game. I always believed that Dan Campbell is too good of a coach to really sit here and let the Detroit Lions get in the bad vibes and completely collapse. I know fans were going that way with their moods after the Bears game because they had been seeing a lot of patterns through past games, even where the Lions were winning. But I knew there was always going to be a wake-up call for the Detroit Lions. I knew there was always going to be a moment where they would continue to experiment, put things together, and have another game like this. Another game where you are just absolutely dominant, putting up 40 points, and really putting the game away before you're even in the in the fourth quarter. By the way, we didn't talk about third quarter at all here, right? Like, I know the Broncos scored a touchdown and all, but Detroit answered right back. There was no third quarter in this game. There was none of these languid, torrid movements trying to come out of the half. The Broncos scored a touchdown and you answered right back. They scored a field goal, you answered with a touchdown. It was beautiful. And that is something that I think the Lions really need to dig into. This is crunch time. This was a game they absolutely needed to have, and I think that is where Dan Campbell flies best. When it's season on the line, I know he's going to try to have this team as ready as he possibly can. That was all on display tonight. It's why I have always believed in Dan Campbell as a head coach, even though he doesn't come from a traditional background, or at least I should say traditional background in the sense of our modern NFL, where you're supposed to be a hotshot coordinator and come in with all these different ideas. He comes in as someone completely different, and he takes his mentor out there and whips him real good in this game, to the point where Sean Payton lost his composure more than a few times here. I can't really blame him for some of that. The officiating in this game was weird, but for once it didn't really hurt the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions still have 3 games to go, and it's a hard road to hoe, especially if the idea is you want to get to the playoffs, you want to be healthy. But I think this is the start of something. If you can take this game and stack this game with a win over Minnesota, you can show you're getting right at the right time again. Because this wasn't one of these languid wins like they had over the Saints. This was dominant. This was in front of a home crowd that is probably the loudest I have seen them all season. They know what's on the line, and they'll be ready no matter what, because there's one more home game on the 7th of January before the Lions, by my estimation, will host a home game in Ford Field for the playoffs. We'll have more for you when the POD cast comes your way here later this week, and we get you ready for the road game against the Vikings on Christmas Eve as the Lions try to clinch this division. And I think it's getting real close. We'll break down more of this game here, but we'll close up the post-game podcast here. We'll stay live on Twitch and YouTube, take questions, have some fun with you guys there, get you guys some post-game sound from Dan Campbell. Make sure to join us on twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit and on YouTube at Pride of Detroit, youtube.com/@Pride of Detroit. We'll see you Starside. Okay, that's wrapped up. That podcast is wrapped up. We're staying live, so don't go anywhere. Hello. Thank you, Raiders from Bridget. Thank you very much. Welcome in on Twitch. I see we've got the raid from our good friend Bridget Case. How you guys doing? That was one hell of a show, wasn't it? That's much better. 180 on the vibes this week. 180 on the vibes. Let me save this post-game sound out. I'll have to master it during a break here. Branch is my guy. I love Laporta. Death to the third quarter. Dan Campbell deserves Coach of the Year. I think he does. I don't think he's going to get it. I think there's been some bigger names this year just because of how these awards kind of get handed out. But he's done something with the Detroit Lions I haven't seen in a while. I really this is still, I stand by what I said in the podcast. This is still a young team. This is still a in-progress thing. And I think some people got ahead of themselves talking about them as a Super Bowl contender. But, man, I have always still believed that all you got to do is get them in the playoffs and see what happens. Because I think they could have the passion and fire to win a playoff game. Best game of the 3 Saturday games by a long shot. I'm not going to lie. I was taking some enjoyment out of that Vikings-Bengals game. I'm sure it was enjoyable for us as Lions fans to watch Denver get beat down, but that Vikings-Bengals game kind of had everything in a very sicko way. There were 2 catches in that Bengals game by the Cincinnati Bengals where I just sat there and thought, how the hell did they catch that? First off, amazing spatial awareness by T. Higgins to know where he is as he's going down and windmills his arm for the touchdown. That is the highest IQ play I have seen in years by a wide receiver. It's phenomenal. And then Tyler Boyd's had that 44-yard grab that set up the game-winning field goal. I don't know how he caught it. I watched that play at least 5 times, and I'm I still don't know how Jake Browning threaded that needle. I really don't. We didn't even talk about the Bugs run. Damn it, Laser Mouse. You just reminded me. We didn't even talk about Isaiah Bugs run on the post-game podcast. Man, stumbling, bumbling, rumbling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the coughing. This is kind of I don't know if this is long COVID stuff or just another bug in me. I'm not sick, but man, my voice was going in and out this morning. Riley O'Brien, what's up, Chris Perfett? What an amazing feeling this is. Great game, great win. You're the man. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Riley. I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in on YouTube right now. Let's see, 300 strong on Twitch and 130 some strong on YouTube. I love it. As soon as we get some sound from the Detroit Lions post-game show, I will take you guys over and we can watch Dan Campbell. Oops. Turn off the sound for that for now. It's okay. I was lightheaded all game from cheering. I know some friends who went to the Lions game tonight, and my God, that was a hell of an atmosphere, guys. Hell of an atmosphere. I wish there were more games left. I did see the Luchador cash in. Let me find the mask. Where did I put it? Oh, no. Don't make me search for the mask through this, man. Oh, no. Sorry, my place is really messy right now. Where'd I put that? Oh, no. Oh, man. Where did I put that? Where did I put that damn mask? Okay. I'll have to refund the Luchador. I'm sorry. I don't know where it is tonight. I've been extremely busy, and I have a bit of a firestorm just out of sight. So I apologize. I will have to refund that, the adequate Luchador. I'm sorry, Just Insane. I'll get Ruby up in a second. He is on his backside right now. He enjoyed that game as much as I did. Thoughts on Tigers signing Flaherty could be something. It's still early for me to say what the Tigers are right now. Chris, your apartment looks like mine right now. I just got a new TV, and that's the big part of my angst right now. I just dragged in this new 50-inch TV, and I found out belatedly that my TV stand isn't big enough. So I just brought in a new TV stand, and I realized I didn't measure it lengthwise. I measured it by width, but not lengthwise. So I'm hoping it fits. Talk about some of the ref stuff that was happening in the game. I mean, I didn't think it was a very good officiated game. I think it's kind of is still conducive to all the other problems that go on in officiating, but I do agree that the Lions, for once, were not the recipients of it. That offside call was bizarre. And it's not just the offside call, it was the sequence going up to it. I didn't know why Sean Payton didn't challenge the play. I think if it was like, I'm not sure why it happened there, and then he was yelling at Russell Wilson. Someone told me he went like too fast, and maybe that's why, but like I don't really buy that. But yeah, that offsides guard's helmet was in front of the centers. It's offsides. It was a bewildering set of events that turned from what should have been, I thought, like even back a few yards, I would have still, like at that spot, you'd still want to go for the touchdown, and they didn't. They decided to kick the field goal. Very odd. And then the punt in the game was also very odd. Like, I couldn't tell if the Broncos were giving up or trying to fight. This time of year, with as much of a mess the AFC is, I would have fought the whole way through. I'm not sure what Sean Payton was doing late in the game with some of those decisions. The goal line, I thought, was very bad for him. And then I thought punting was the wrong decision. I understand it's kind of almost game over at that point, but if you don't score there, then it's game over anyway. Campbell would have went for it on 4th and goal from the 6. I believe so, Ultimate Punisher. I actually do believe that. Mike Laundry on YouTube. Laporta gets another game ball or iffy or bugs. I'd probably have one for both Laporta and for iffy. Like, this was a really defining game for Ifeatu Melifonwu. I think this was a game he absolutely had to have for his career. He's shown some wonderful, wonderful value, and you can't help but feel good for the guy. I will say, I am glad Sam Laporta had the game that he had. He came in tonight wearing a Pistons hoodie, and I thought, oh no. But you know what? You always trust me on Twitter. You know why? Because I said on Twitter, it's teal, so it's safe. Trust me. And I was right. You should trust me more. Game ball for the O-line. You know what? That might be the answer, El Gato Diablo. Like, that might be the answer. That O-line was dominant all day long. Goff had a huge bounce-back game. Yeah. 5 touchdowns and passes in a given game, I think, is his career high. So everyone bounced back in a very big way. Josh CV, should the Lions be benching their starters at the ends of games like this? Seems risky. Have them in with a 2+ score lead and 5 minutes left. I think that's just, we've talked about this before, Josh, on the POD cast. Like, this is just the nature of the Detroit Lions with Dan Campbell. They want to play. But speaking of Dan Campbell, let's go to the podium. Why is this muted?
Knowing Coach Payton and what he's done with them over there, and obviously I can't say enough great things about Coach. And they're in good hands over there. They're in good hands. That team plays hard, and they play smart football. And we needed to do what we needed to do today, and I was proud of our guys. Questions?
It's a question. You guys needed a bounce back. I think you did more than bounce back. What was the key to all the success on offense tonight?
We just needed to win, and we did that today. And look, we just cleaned up a couple of things, and focused on our job at hand, the details of it. And honestly, we didn't start real hot early. We didn't, and we can't do that. We can't accept that. Not with where we're going. But we got out of it. Defense played well and found our rhythm. I thought Goff played a really good game. A number of guys did. The O-line played their rears off, and you know, I mean, everybody in there, you know, played big for us. But, you know, we got to start faster than that. So it was good, and, you know, it's a good win, man.
You never wanted this week to be about you and Sean, but you know, ultimately was a storyline that we were all watching. Is it any sweeter to be your mentor? You said he wanted to come and put 50 on you. Is it sweet that you were able to almost do that to him?
Look, anytime, whenever, you know, you have somebody you respect like I do him, and you've learned everything from, and in essence, you're doing the same things that he does with your own team. You know, it feels good. But it's also, man, the ability for our team to win against somebody of his stature, Super Bowl winning coach that does it right. Yeah, that's good. That's a good win, man. Because I know what he's about. So, you know, I'm happy for our guys. You know that we got a W here when we needed it. Get to 10, and now we got 3 to go.
We talk about each other in midfield.
Oh,
We love each other, man. It's my guy, and I love him, and always will.
You talked about the slow start offensively. The defense really held down the fort during that stretch.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
You talked about the slow start offensively for you guys, but your defense held down the fort.
Yeah.
You know, while you guys are struggling a little bit to
Yeah.
get your footing. Just their performance overall, helping score this in the first half. One of the better performances by those guys.
Yeah, defense did a really good job today. I thought AG called a heck of a game. We had a couple of wrinkles in that we felt like would be good for us, and really they were. You know, the takeaway that we got, that was something we haven't done. It's been a long time since we have, so we were able to get pressure in his face and trap it on the outside, and so you know, we were able to come away with that takeaway. So I just thought we were well prepared, knew what we had a real good feeling of what we were going to get here. We knew who we had to take care of. We couldn't let Sutton get going. We couldn't let him launch them. You know, handle this run game. And we did. So the defense showed up. I thought we were able to get pressure. The front played really well today. You know, certainly our back end. It was the ultimate team win. But yeah, defense started it out for us. You know, we took the ball there. We wanted to go down and score. We didn't do that. But the defense, man, they held up there and were able to get us the ball back.
You've been looking for a formula to get that defense on track. You made some personnel changes the last couple weeks in the back end. Malafama, Dorsey, Valdor, they all gave you some big moments today. What is it about, I guess? What would you see to kind of make those moves and how you like the early results?
Yeah, look, practice. You know, it's practice. I mean, we practice full speed. We work, we compete, and so you know, you get a pretty good idea of what you think some of these players can do, and then you go with it. You know, you trust your gut and you go with it. And we felt like that was the right move. And Iffy's continued to grow. You know, and look, Iffy, his thing really has been the durability. Well, he's been healthy, man. He's been able to stay on the field, and his body's holding up. And he's a smart, athletic, physical player. He's got length and range, and him back there with Kirby. Look, we're getting better. We're getting better. And same deal, man, with Vildor and Doris. Give them a shot out there on the outside edge. It just makes us – we felt like it made us better. Give them a chance to go, and now we get Jerry back on teams as well, because Jerry's a good special teams player now, as a gunner and a jammer. So and so we just – hey, we keep working through it. Give these guys an opportunity and let them compete. And we were good today. Those guys played well on the back end.
One other DB, your son against Cortland.
Yeah, showed up, did well, you know, and Cam's a crafty guy, he's a smart player, and you know, we felt good about that. And certainly we had some help over the top at times, but I thought he certainly accepted that challenge. That's not something he's going to shy away from, and I thought he kept him in check. It was really good, man. That honestly, that was the big concern. You know, I just mentioned again, these shot plays. You could play great for most of the game, and all of a sudden you give up one of those, and you're in trouble. So we did well.
Man, a number of teams get 10 wins, but they don't get there the same way necessarily. So when your team is playing well, what do you see as the characteristics starts getting going, how do you know, oh, yeah, this is how the Lions, this is how this team wins games? What are the things that you specifically?
Man, I just feel like when we're efficient on first and second down, offensively and defensively, when we're getting those chunk runs, we're getting, you're getting 5-6 yards a pop early, 7 yards, 8. In our defense, we're getting these. All right, now they're in 2nd 10, they're in 2nd 8. You just kind of feel like, all right, here we go. This is the type of game that we need to play. We want to play. It feels good. The third downs are manageable here. The third downs are longer on defense, and I think when it happens early and often, you get a really good feeling about it.
Before, guys.
Before you play your game, the Vikings lost. Now that you won, you're close to clinching a bunch of things.
Somebody got a text message up here. Keep going. You guys want me to read that?
No, please.
I'm listening. How do we continue? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're getting close to clinching some things now. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, look, man, this is about to be a tough environment. Going on the road at Minnesota, they got an outstanding defense. They've changed a couple of things up offensively just watching crossover tape. So this is not going to be easy. Defending North champs from last year. But, man, we wouldn't have it any other way. Go out there on the road, tough environment, man, and we got a chance to get the next one. So, man, we're going to be looking forward to it. I know I am, and I know our guys will. So we did what we needed to do today against a hot team to get to 10 wins, and now we got to find a way to get to 11.
Last question. You guys, your team, has some of the traits that are needed this time of year. I'm thinking specifically running the ball.
What do you think?
Home crowd advantage.
What do you think?
I assume that's why you put it together.
Yeah, we have traits. We have the traits to be able to play a number of different ways, And we've got an offensive line. We got a quarterback. We got a defense that I think plays disruptive, can play disruptive. And the only thing that's missing for us right now is getting these turnovers in bunches, and it's coming. I believe it. It's coming. We got one today. We held on to the football, and, man, that's the formula. So we got some backs. I mean, I feel like we got a little bit of everything. And look, this game is about matchups. It's about matchups. And so the next matchup is out at Minnesota. We got to find a way to, to find those, just like they're going to try to do against us and come out of there with a W. But that's what this time of year is about. December and certainly playoffs is about the matchups.
One more quick one, last one, personnel. Maybe switch a kicker today. Is that something that you're looking to make permanent, or is this a temporary thing for whatever reason?
Yeah, this is they've been competing now for about 5 weeks. I mean, before the Chargers. So this was something we wanted to do, give Badge a go with Riley, and they've been battling it out, and he won it for this game. It just was right, and it's been that way for a while, and this was the right move, and so we're going to go there. Got a lot of faith in Badgley.
Just one real quick one. You had two rookies do some really good things on offense today, but Laporte set some franchise records for most touchdowns by tight end. Just his game, more than his game, maybe, and the continued growth that he shows.
Look, he goes without saying he's doing a really good job, and I would say this: if you see the kid when you watch him in meetings. All right, you watch him out at practice, the walkthrough, the way he works. He reminds me of St. Brown in that manner. Very much the same way, just how he goes about it. And he is highly competitive. He gets in games like this, and he shows up now, and he's got this competitive edge about him, And so I'm not surprised by that. He just keeps getting better and better, and so does Gibbs. Gibbs is just getting better and better. So. I'm just going to bring it back to Brad Holmes. It's a hell of a job by him once again. Took a lot of criticism for those 2 picks, but they look like they're okay. So I'm glad we got them.
All right, thanks, guys. Love Jared.
Appreciate it. See you.
All right. Let me get that out of the way there. Let's see here. Let's go back to post game, and yes, I found the mask. I'm sorry we couldn't have it earlier, but we got the mask. We're ready to go. Luchador is here now. We got this. We got this. Ooh, this actually goes really well with the Detroit City FC shirt. Man. All right, let me get, Dan taking shots of being like, hey, you know, what's this about bad picks? Anyway, let's see here. I've got to thank some people here real quick. I'm behind on some of the alerts, so let me get through these. Mondo quick like. Let me find where we started. Lions Wow resubscribed at tier 3 on Twitch. Thank you, Lions Wow. Tier 3, big dedication to the cause here. Thank you. We always appreciate that. J Dubs, been with us for 35 months, says 35 and the Lions scored more. Football is fun. That's right. Woodchuck Hunter giving us 300 bits. Let's effing go. We are all the way effing back. 45 bits from Twitch. We added 30 bits to Woodchuck Hunter's Twitch. Okay, cool. Thano TV resubscribed using Prime on Twitch. So hell yeah, what a beautiful win in 19 months. Thank you there. Your boy Maroc been with us for 24 months. Go Eagles, let's clinch on Monday. I don't want just the playoffs, Maroc. I want the division. Josh CV77 been with us for 7 months. Thank you. JW Lagina, thank you. 21 months with us. Let's see here. What else we got? Kyle Sleeps, 24 months, says, God damn, do we need that? Dan said during the week Peyton was going to try and lay 50 on us. Maybe a bit of projection. I think that was Dan trying to say what his own goals were going to be. Caleb Whitwer, 19 months. Can I get a hell effing yeah? Yes, we can. Yeah, Detroit gave out 10 community subs. Thank you so much, Yeah, Detroit. Laser Mouse, 9 months with Prime. What a win, baby. A bit from Ol Hank 7. Keyrock 614, been with us for 8 months. Let's see here. Thank you to Bridget Case for the raid. As always, we like to raid her on Twitch. She has raided us back. Thank you. The Dizzy Wizard, 6 months. Thank you. Giving us a lot of emojis. Let's see. What else do we have here? Schlesinger Smash, been with us 17 months, saying smash. Drew Falcon, 13 months. 13 months must be my lucky number. Go Lions. Thank you. I see the Ruby cameo. I'll try to get him here. He's kind of passed out. I did find the Luchador mask, so we'll see. Prime Frog Bark, 3 months. 3 months, you know what that means. I don't. And Joshua Mercer, 100 bits. Can we mess with Jeremy and accuse him of being the guy who got a text message? You can do that on Twitter if you'd like. Mike Lang, subscribing with Prime, 6 months. Thank you guys, as always, for all your support here on Twitch and on YouTube. We really do appreciate it. I keep telling everyone out there who doesn't understand how we did this with a podcast and stream about the Detroit Lions, and I keep telling them, man, community, 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 community. There's a lot of options out there for content. There's a lot of podcast options out there. We don't have stuff like former NFL players who are part of our broadcast. We don't have, big celebrities or anything like that. We rely on you guys. You guys are the community that has allowed us to grow over the course of 8 damn years. Thank you so much. It really means the world to me. It still turns heads that I can tell people that, of course I've got a podcast that's successful about the Detroit Lions. You know why? Because we take care of our people, and you are our people. Captain James T. Kirk, 100 bits. I feel like MySpace was back being in the top 9 that the pod account tweeted out for Twitch interactions. Alien Vivitor, the accuracy brings us back to. Yeah, no, I mean, I have to keep up my part too. I will never break kayfabe. Mike Laundry, Peyton yelling at Russell is going to be a huge storyline. I think if it wasn't for the fact the Broncos are kind of out of it, in shambles at this point, I think you're all right. That said, even at 7-7, that was a huge blow for them to try to catch the Chiefs. I agree with you, though. The AFC is in a nasty, nasty picture. I know that doesn't befront Lions. at all for playoff stuff, but good Lord, I think this drops the Broncos to 11th right now, behind the Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that's just how much of a cluster the AFC is. We're starting to get some separation. I think the Browns are probably making one of those wild cards. Either the Bengals or Colts. I really can't tell. I think the Bengals have a tiebreaker there. But like I feel like we're starting to get a little bit of separation. I feel confident after watching them play that Cleveland feels like if they can get this game over the Bears this weekend, which, by the way, the Bears are still eligible for the playoffs, so I'm kind of rooting now for the Bears to for the Browns to crush those dreams completely. Once that's done, I think the Browns are in fine position to take one of those wild cards. But that's still 2 wild cards up for grabs. And then, yeah, the rest of the Broncos' schedule, they've got Patriots on Christmas Eve, Chargers, who, my God, and at Raiders, who I don't know if the Raiders are actually good. I don't know if the Raiders are actually good, and I refuse to believe in this Antonio Pierce BS. Until further notice, I'm not a believer in the Raiders. The Raiders, I guess, will have to prove it going on the road to play the Chiefs on Christmas, but that don't befriend us now, do it. Reisman was in Mad Men. He's a celebrity. I need a second for my throat. Man. What a week for this, huh? What a week for this. We start with Monday Night Football. We start with Monday Night Football with the Packers dropping a critical game to Tommy DeVito. By the way, I did order a Tommy DeVito jersey. The Packers dropping a critical game they needed on Tommy DeVito, and the Minnesota Vikings just playing an absolute, just awful fest against the Bengals. On a week where you had to have the win to put these two out of reach for the division. There you go. That's what you need. That's what you need. And the Packers and the Vikings, I think, play each other coming up here. I have to wear what for the next podcast? What do I have to wear for the next podcast, James? T. Higgins is a lion at heart. A lot of people said nasty things this year about T. Higgins. We have to apologize to T. Higgins. Praise Tommy Cold Cuts. Tommy Cutlets. But cold cuts sound good too. Ian, hi from Australia. Hi from Australia, Ian. Oh, the DeVito jersey? Yeah, so I think I'm actually lucking out. It is coming in, I think, on Friday, if Fanatics is correct. Now, I had to get like a size 2XL, but that just means it's the perfect kind of thing where you get a hoodie and put it underneath the jersey. And it's one of those throwback red, white, and blue New York Giants jerseys, too. I keep saying this on radio at my other job. Like, we need to go back to before the 2000s where everyone had really fun jerseys. We need to go back to red, white, and blue for the Giants. We need to go back to bright green for the Eagles. We need to go back to Orange Crush and the old Denver Broncos logo. Like, enough of this. Go back to the classics. We had fun. Go back to the Seahawks throwbacks. Don't call them throwbacks. Just go back to them. Let's get some color back in here. Yeah, Joshua Mercer, I think I said it earlier, but like that is probably the most impressive touchdown. T. Higgins had the most impressive touchdown I've seen from a receiver this year. Just on IQ and spatial awareness alone. Like it's unbelievable that he knew to windmill his arm, and he could have very easily have lost that ball if he wasn't careful about it. But he had the grip, he had the wherewithal, he had the torsion, and he had the IQ to get that ball in. It was just And then Tyler Boyd pulling a magic trick to get that ball from between those defenders, too. Just unbelievable. I don't know how good the Bengals really will be without Burrow, but like that was a game they needed to have. From us Chiefs fans, thank you, Lions. I guess I hate I kind of resent this cross thing, but hey, I just did it with the Giants getting a Tommy DeVito jersey, so you're welcome. You're welcome. I know we kept the Broncos off your back there, but we also needed that win too, and I am happy to pick it up for greed purposes as well. The Sun God flip was fantastic. I always like a good touchdown flip. That is good. That is good point, Wizard, that the Lions have now swept the AFC West. I wish CJ Stroud didn't exist so Sam Laporta wins Rookie of the Year. I mean, maybe. I don't know if, like, I don't know what the case would be if we took Laporta off the board. It is impressive, and I think it's going to keep getting more and more impressive. Rookie of the Year is just tricky like that. Rookie of the Year is really tricky like that. I'd have to think who else could probably be Rookie of the Year in that category, but, like, yeah, it's Stroud's. Although, granted, Stroud's missing time now, which is Sam Laporta isn't. Maybe he blows out the touchdown numbers. So I keep pointing to Ben Freddy. I keep pointing to Mike Ditka, his rookie year with the Chicago Bears, which, by the way, was in 1961. Like, I know I bring up Mike Ditka a lot, but that's because in history, I'm still blown away from the fact that as a rookie tight end, first off, we have to deal with the fact that it's a rookie tight end, which is always a struggle, but also it's in the 60s where, like, he was the first one who wasn't just a blocking guy as a tight end. Like, completely revolutionary to it. But then he also has 1,000 yards receiving for the season, and he has 12 touchdowns. Sam Laporta right now has 9. And I'm sure there's been tight ends since Ditka who have gotten more touchdowns. But I think if Laporta passes 12, then we start to be like, oh, wow, okay. And in only 14 games, by the way, too. Right, yeah. No, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's any question about that, yo. I'm just trying to point out any kind of... I like to game plan out different scenarios for people, just in case. And look at that. Pride of Detroit is gifting five subs. Jeremy, what are you doing? Get back to work. This is true. Jeremy does have a professional recorder, which is good. We respect our audio equipment here at Pride of Detroit. J-Mo's shake was fantastic. Gibbs' stuff was fantastic. Like, this was a game for the Young Bucks. It was a game where the Lions needed to get right, and they turned to the young guys and said, "Can you do it?" And they said, "Yes." They can. What about Charlie Sanders? Charlie Sanders, I think didn't he pass a record? Didn't Sam Laporta pass a Charlie Sanders record in this game? Or am I thinking... Charlie Sanders, though, didn't really have... I think the most touchdowns Charlie Sanders ever had was like 6 in a year. Yeah, J-Mo, as far as I saw, was just shaken up, and he went right back in. Kind of landed a little bit funny, but didn't seem like it was too much of a problem. I'm not slandering Charlie Sanders. Whoa. Got to be careful about that. Don't want to get accused of that. No, sir. No, sir. By the way, guys, you want to, speaking of slander, though, you want to see some slander. You want to see some slander. I don't mind sharing this with you. I do not mind sharing this with you. Hold on. Let me get this over here. I do not mind sharing this with you about talking about slander. So this is our back end for Megaphone, for where we launch our podcast. And I've been having, you can tell, the SB Nation show guys have been very busy at work. You should check out their stuff, but I am going to slander them because they have slandered the Lions here. Because I was trying to get episodes around their clips. And I wake up this morning getting this at the top. I mean, I wake up a couple days ago and I see this at the top of the Broncos game is a lot tougher than we thought. Is it? Is it? Is it? Was the Broncos game a lot tougher than we thought? Strut your stuff. That's all I say. Okay, I know it is late there. Man, we still got a lot of people watching. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to move my camera. Lions 4-0 in primetime with one primetime game to go. Can they do it? I think so. They have yet to lose back-to-back games. And all they need in the last three is just one. Just one. I mean, they may not even need that just to get into the playoffs, but just one, I'd say, to get the division. And then you start prepping for the playoffs. That's how close it is. When people were breaking down about the Chicago Bears, all you had to do, when everyone was breaking down about the Chicago Bears, when everyone was melting down about Thanksgiving in Chicago, when everyone was melting down and saying the Lions were going to lose out and dredging up those dreaded old words, I said, and I'll continue to say, just win and get in the playoffs. Just win, baby. Just win. The NFL season is long. It's short, and I miss it immediately as soon as it's gone. But it's also a long season. And teams change their trajectories all the time. Playoffs? Oh God, I should not do that. That hurts my throat doing the Jim Mora. I will not attempt to do the Jim Mora again. I agree, Ken McWise. We thought it was tougher than it turned out to be. Yeah. I think we all panicked a little bit after, and I understand what people were doing, extrapolating trends from past games. But we said it on podcast more than a few times. Hey, this defense is starting to trend in the right direction. It's starting to get things figured out, even as people were still screaming for Aaron Glenn's head. And we said that, there was more of a problem for the offense, but that could be fixed. And I didn't ever see a problem with how the Lions handled the Chargers game. People kept wanting to throw that onto the pile to explain on how long this slump had been for the Lions, but I thought the Chargers game was that's a shootout. Sometimes you get in a shootout. You've been on a slump of 3 nasty division games of teams whose defenses have been catching on at the right time, and they beat you up. And then in the middle of there, you had a Saints game that just wasn't going your way. You have 2 more division games to go, and you have a Cowboys road game that looks, not going to lie, it looks tough. you might just have to eat that one. Although who knows? People keep saying that the Cowboys are frauds. I don't believe them. But we'll see. The Cowboys themselves are going to be coming off a tough schedule. They're going to be coming off 2 road games, Bills and Dolphins, before they take on the Lions. Would you say James Houston and CJ is going to change this defense big time? I think CJ, if he comes back and he is healthy, I would say he does. James Houston, I think, adds another element for the pass rush, but I don't know if he appreciably changes it. He never was playing last year a lot of snaps outside of pass rushing downs. Like his sacks as a rookie were impressive. Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong at all. But I don't think that like he's as necessary to bolster this defense as someone like C.J. Gardner-Johnson is. Anyway, it's over midnight for you guys on the East Coast. I want to get you guys out of here. So let me get the final alerts. I think I've got everything here. We have some bits from James T. Kirk I missed. I personally bullied Jeremy into stickers by creating a Twitter page about it. Can't be more proud to be part of this community. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for bullying him on that. But it is late for you guys. I have work in the morning. Let's get you out of here. I don't have anyone really to raid. I got to thank you guys on YouTube and Twitch. We still are going like 300 some strong between the two right now as we hit the hour mark for the stream. So just want to let you know, we'll try to have a POD cast this week. We have some people on the staff who are traveling. It is a holiday week and everything. People are going to go see family. I have to take on an extra amount of work for my job. Depending on when the time of these games are, there will probably be a post-game show for the primetime game coming up here against the Cowboys, but hard to tell. We'll see. I might just be, damn exhausted after that one too. Depends on my schedule for that week. But we'll have a lot more coverage to come. Streams itself might be touch and go. We do have some internet situations we're trying to be cognizant of for stuff like First Bite. We're still figuring a lot of stuff out. But I want you guys to do this for me. Go enjoy football tomorrow. Kick back and watch the rest of the NFL. Because I think more than anything, watching some of you guys talking about the Bears game, I think you don't appreciate I know I sound a little harsh on this, but like every team goes through fits and spurts, and I want you to watch some of the other teams that lost, who were division leaders who lost last week, be it the Chiefs. Don't watch the Chiefs. They're playing the Patriots. Good Lord, do not watch the Chiefs. Like Dolphins are hosting the Jets. Oh God. Okay. This is sounding like a worse and worse idea the more I try to flesh it out. But really, watch some good games. Cowboys, Bills, that'll be a good game. Ravens, Jaguars, could potentially be a good game. Browns, Bears, that'll be a fun one. Packers, Bucks, sure, why not? Find something to watch, have fun, relax. Lions got the W. We can just... I love it when we don't play on Sunday because I can enjoy the rest of Sunday. I'm a football fan at heart, and I want to watch other football games. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next time.